Bridge Street did not start as a destination. It started as a working street. For most of its life, this part of the West Side existed to serve people who already lived here. Warehouses, small commercial buildings, modest housing. The places on Bridge Street were practical, not aspirational. You didn't come here for a night out, you came here because it was close. Back then, the street was defined by places that weren't trying to be anything else. The Anchor Bar was already here. Fratelli's Pizza was already here. These weren't trend-driven spots, they were steady, affordable, and familiar. Bridge Street was a neighborhood street, not a district. That identity held for a long time. Then the first real shift happened. In mid-2010s, investment finally showed up in a way that stuck. The turning point was the New Holland Brewing, the Knickerbocker. This was different than anything else on the block at that time. A large footprint, a beer garden, events. It gave people a reason to cross the river and to come here on purpose. Soon after, Butchers Union opened. That moment mattered. It changed the conversation around Bridge Street. This wasn't just a casual stop anymore. It became a place that you planned for. Dinner reservations, long waits, a reason to meet friends here instead of downtown. That's when Bridge Street stopped being overlooked and started being talked about. Once those places proved the street could support destination businesses, the next wave followed. Food concepts filled the gaps. Coronado Tacos brought a steady foot traffic throughout the day. Non-La Burger added reliable, casual option that fit the pace of the street without trying to be upscale. Bars still mattered too. O'Toole's Public House stayed busy as the street changed around it, becoming a place where the old Bridge Street crowd and the new one overlapped. If you're new here, I'm Mike Smallegan, and I focus on giving you the best information available on what it's really like living in or moving to Grand Rapids. If this video has been helpful so far, hit that like button. It helps more people find these local deep dives. Now, back to the video. Then something important happened. In 2018, Bridge Street Market opened, and this is where the street truly changed. This wasn't just a grocery store, it was a modern, walkable market designed for daily life. It brought more traffic, routine visits, and a reason to walk instead of drive. It signaled that people weren't just expected to visit Bridge Street, they were expected to live here. That's when Bridge Street became a neighborhood. Housing followed quickly. Apartments and mixed-use buildings went up nearby. More people started living within walking distance. And at that point, it wasn't just successful, it was an anchor. And when something becomes an anchor, growth doesn't stay contained. Development started spilling outward. Leonard Street began feeling the pull. Businesses and housing started popping up just outside the original core. The district stretched without losing its center. The most recent wave shows where Bridge Street is headed next. Jinjin's opened with a more elevated food and cocktail focus. Rapid River Stillhouse added entertainment and energy and a larger footprint. Bridge Street Bar opened in 2024, clearly part of the current wave. The neighborhood around Bridge Street matters just as much as the street itself. Just north of here is John Ball Park area. A lot of housing there is still rental housing, much of it occupied by college students and younger residents. That population keeps Bridge Street active during the week, not just on the weekends. It supports late hours, casual food, and steady foot traffic. Now the next chapter is already forming. The professional soccer stadium planned nearby will change this area again. The first season won't happen until 2027, but the impact will start before that. Game days will bring crowds through Bridge Street before and after matches. More demand for food, more demand for drinks, more pressure for housing close by. Here's what the future looks like. More residential buildings near the core, more businesses built for events and volume, more spillover into Leonard Street and surrounding blocks. Bridge Street started as a working street and it became a neighborhood hangout. Then it became a destination. Now it's the anchor that the West Side keeps growing around. If you want more Grand Rapids insight like this, make sure you're subscribed.